What up, bro? I'm here to bring you grade 12 of my life and part 4. If you haven't watched part 3 or 2 yet, or 1, go down or just go to my channel and you'll see them all. I don't know if I'm gonna link them in the description. But yeah, as you can see, this is a separate day. I have to take some day to kind of think and really just figure out how I'm gonna orchestrate this whole story for you guys so it really does make sense and you can kind of see how everything kind of played out in my life. Basically grade 12 was, if you see me looking, I'm looking at kind of job points, so I'm not like reading the script or anything. Well, kind of, but fuck it. Grade 12 was like, it was one of the most depressing years of my life, and then one of the greatest years of my life closest to the end. And I mean, it kind of started off really happy, you know. I was still addicted to pornography and all that kind of stuff, but I was still pretty insecure with my appearance. Although, like I said, I had a job before and I kind of upped my style. I did have better clothes and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really have that much money. I was still pretty broke, but like I was okay. Like my what was I gonna say? My friend Ethan that I met in grade 11. He introduced me to music again, and I kind of dropped music and all possibilities of doing music. But then producing came into my life, and my dad, like I said, my dad was a producer before he passed away, and again that kind of music taste poured onto me, and I kind of realized that maybe I want to carry on what he left. And he had a lot of dreams of being a producer for the community and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I started producing. I picked up a laptop and I was kind of pursuing a little bit of a dream, right? But honestly, I was still really self-conscious of the way I looked, the way I dressed, the way I talked, and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, there was a lot of suicidal thoughts in my head, man. There was a lot of suicidal thoughts. A lot. And there was even one time where I smoked weed again for a female that I was trying to bring back into my life because I wanted to one more time. And I tried to kind of low-key lure her in with some marijuana. It was kind of weird. But yeah, man, there were days where I'd kind of just go home crying and just sit in my room, turn off the lights, play Juice WRLD, and just kind of start crying about my life because I genuinely low-key just didn't like myself. I didn't like the way I was treated. I just didn't like my life in general. And it was honestly one of the most hard times the first few months of grade 12. I was just kind of lost in who I am and lost in my purpose. I used to just come home, watch videos, eat snacks. Sometimes I work out, and then yeah, watch porn, you know, every single day. And yeah, there's just days where I would just cry and kind of just didn't really like where I was in my life. Obviously, I was young, man. I was 16, 17 years old. So, like, what is that kid gonna really do? I don't know, but I hated my life. I wasn't happy every single morning I woke up. Still sometimes choosing to be depressed. Still sometimes choosing, like, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Popping my AirPods and play Goodbye and Good Riddance by Juice WRLD and just isolate myself from the world because I felt like it. But then looking back now, I realized that most of that did come from wanting some more attention in my life sometimes. And yeah, but it is what it is. But I ended up picking up freestyling a little bit. I started freestyling on my story and I started expressing those suicidal thoughts through music. And it kind of helped me cope and realize how fucking stupid my shit was saying. Like how fucking stupid it was what I was saying and put on paper. Yeah, it made me cry. Yes, it was kind of true. It was really the way I felt. But then I look back on it and I'm like, dude, look at your life. You have a roof over your head. You have a loving mom and dad who did ask questions when you were going through all your depressing. You had all your siblings asking you, you okay? Da-da-da-da-da. And then sooner or later they did start to kind of make fun of it because it was low-key just getting like a joke. Okay, Gadak was being a depressed bitch today. It was getting like a joke, so I definitely understand where that was coming from. I definitely do. But yeah, I just realized, first off, now I realize there's so much to be grateful for. There was no reason for me to even be depressed then. There's no reason for you to be depressed at all, bro. People love you. You have a house. You have a roof over your head. I know some people go through some trauma, maybe a little bit of abuse. I had a friend that went through abuse as a kid, multiple friends who went through abuse as a kid, and they look back now and it's like, damn, this kind of grew me a little bit. Some still dwell in it, but like they just glance over sometimes with a little bit of humor, and that's what you need, honestly. Life is all about hurdles and obstacles, and you need to get jumping. You need to turn yourself into a fucking gazelle. A gazelle, bro. And what's really gonna grow those legs and make you be able to hop over those fucking hurdles with as much power and as much force as possible is the mental strength, and building that strength on a daily basis with those daily disciplines of looking yourself in the mirror, say you love yourself, writing down 3 things you're grateful for on a daily basis, and just sitting there and thinking like how blessed your life is. If you're living in anywhere in North America, maybe Europe too, depending on where it is, you are so blessed. If you're able to watch this video right now, I feel like there's no reason for you to be depressed. None. Unless you are literally on the streets somehow with a phone and internet. Then stop watching this video and go make some fucking bread, bro. Start being a little bit more happy, okay? You got it. Yeah, so that was kind of that. I started picking up producing. I picked it up pretty fast, like everything else in my life. Like I said, I was listening to a lot of Juice WRLD. It wasn't necessarily the best time of my life. Yeah, but as I did start picking up freestyling and expressing those suicidal thoughts, I was freestyling at school, and people were listening to me like, yo, this guy can kind of freestyle rap. It was all funny, sometimes it's gay shit. But that kind of built my confidence, kind of being able to step out there and be like, yo, listen to this, listen to that. I'll play my freestyles or my story, and people, and girls started coming up to me. He's like, oh, I heard you rap, da-da-da-da. But I probably had no sexual intentions with me. It was just kind of interesting, right? And that boosted my confidence. I would say I was nervous as fuck to talk to those girls, but it was a fun experience, and that was definitely a confidence booster. And towards kind of the end, I started to work out a little bit more because I had a sports performance class, and I realized, okay, I gained a little bit more muscle. I think I bumped up to like 150, like 155, and people were looking at me, like looking at my arms, like, damn, you're getting bigger. And I was like, shit, you already know, bro, you already know. It's just lifting a lot more, and yeah, and then towards the end of grade 12, probably around 2 months before the graduation, COVID isolation hit, so I decided to go get a job with my dad. He was like a seasonal job at a hit shop. It was gonna be my summer job plan, but I remember just going there earlier. It's like, sweet, and all the school was online, so I was like, sweet, do online school. I started working, started stacking up some cash, made my first ever $1,000 in the amount of 2 weeks, and bro, I was like shocked. As a 17-year-old kid, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Finally got 1K, and then all of a sudden they decided to go back to school and they shut down online courses on me. And then I kind of had a decision to make in my head, and I was like, fuck school. Fuck it, bruh. We're staying, we're gonna work. So I basically kind of dropped out of school, and yeah, I never kind of went back because school was just, money was just more important to me. More important than a piece of paper, and the school shut off the online courses, and I just kept working, and this kind of led to the best months and the best time of my life. Like me leaving school was the best decision I ever made, bro. I had less depression, less anxiety, and more time to really just focus on myself. Okay, I started listening to I don't know what got me to start listening to podcasts, but I started listening to podcasts. Lewis Howes, I think it was only Lewis Howes I was listening to, like, just over and over. I listened to maybe like 400 episodes, and I just was like, whoa, this is what I'm missing out on. I started journaling. I had little affirmations. Like, my first journal entry was probably shit, but I started journaling every single day. Today I feel great, and then 3 things I'm grateful for. I've been doing that every single day since like July 2021, and this probably's changed my life. I was working out like crazy. I was coming home after work, pumping these weights, going for runs before work every single day. I was fucking loving it. I was in the best shape of my life. My skin was, okay, it wasn't clearer than it is now. I usually have a beard, by the way, just so you know. We have a beard now. But I was in the best shape of my life. I'm still not in horrible shape, but I have a lot of fat to lose. But I was in good shape. I was feeling good. I was kind of confident, but like, dude, my mentality was just insane, bro. And I was just like, fuck. I was just doing great, man. I had like maybe $7,000 to my name in a matter of like 4 months. I was already like 3 steps ahead of all the kids that were staying in school, gonna go to college, gonna go to university. Like, gee, why you do that? You can just make money here, bro. It doesn't matter if you're gonna get like a $2,000-$3,000 paycheck every 2 weeks. You're still working for the rest of your life. So sorry about time. Yeah, I just said fuck it. So yeah, obviously a couple months into working, I've obviously realized, and it's always been, I don't want to work. I can't work for the rest of my life. I just simply can't do it. So I need a business, and I need a business now. And when I was like 8 years old, my parents kind of were around some different entrepreneurs who had a lot of success in the multi-level marketing sort of arena. If you're familiar with Amway, that's exactly what it is. Amway and Worldwide Dream Builders. I have nothing negative to say about it, honestly. It was great. It was great for my childhood. It was great for my mindset, my parents' mindset, and honestly, it changed everything. But fast forward, then I kind of pursued those same relationships because that's the only thing I kind of knew business-wise. So I pursued it, and it was actually one of the great decisions I ever made. One of the greatest decisions I've ever made in my life because it changed who the fuck I was. It changed my mindset even more on top of the self-development I was doing before that kind of business partnership. But yeah, I started leveraging Amway. I had access to some different mentors and perspective, and I started building my team. I got a couple people in the business, and yeah, now we're getting close to the present. And I did honestly realize now that I lost a lot of money, G. Like my savings kind of depleted. I was just kind of broke, and I realized the less money I had, the less confident I was, and that's really just facts. I mean, like if you're gonna go out with a girl and you only have $100 to your name, you're not gonna feel as confident as if you have like $500 in savings and then and then you have like $4,000 at home in cash. Like you're gonna feel a little bit more confident. You have $500 in the bank. Like I'm talking as a 17-year-old kid. You know what I mean? Like 17-year-old kid, you got 5 bills in the bank. You're okay. You're chilling. You can go out, meet the girl at a train station, go do whatever you want to do, bro. You got money. You got that money, that pocket change, right? But yeah, I did start that. I started ordering products, hopping on vitamins and all that kind of stuff. And it was cool, bro. It was cool, bro. And I was really it was building my confidence to like the max peak. Like I was having conversations. Obviously some of those conversations had an agenda, but at the same time, it was actually giving me a little bit of a purpose and literally giving me an outside perspective of what's happening in this world. What are people's mindsets nowadays, and where are people kind of gauging direction-wise, especially kids my age. And this is kind of where my purpose and my mission is kind of coming into place and coming into fruition, because I'm coming to a realization that there's just a lack of direction in life, and there's a lack of goals, and there's a lack of purpose in young men like me, young men like you. Okay, the question is, what do you really want to do with your life, man? And this is what you need to start thinking of right now. There's no time to waste, G. None. Not a second, not a minute, not a millisecond, not a quadruple second, nothing at all, bro. So, yeah. And it blew my confidence through the water, through the roof. I was going out talking to girls, times where I even asked a couple girls for their numbers, got rejected, of course. I was kind of weird. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, things were cool, and I started attracting more girls into my life, just friends. I was friend zoned, but I was still able to, converse with them and actually have meaningful conversations. Some not meaningful, just boosting my confidence, building my identity as a masculine man. And yeah, and obviously throughout that whole journey, I did have my preconceived notions, and I ended up having a conversation with a guy. And I realized, he asked me, like, how much have you invested into Amway? And I said, oh, I don't know. I didn't know how much I invested, first of all. And they said, how much you made? I said, like, $300. So we did the quick math of how much you invested. And I realized that I invested $3,500. Well, like, almost $4K with the other business events that I attended. And I only made $300. In all honesty, that does not sound like good profit margins at all. For a year of business. It's not at all. And sometimes I didn't like the feeling of trying to learn a language I didn't know, trying to always kind of like come back to the drawing board and fix the way I talk to people to get a certain outcome in conversations. It doesn't really feel right. It's kind of just simply not for me. And I'm not going to force something. I'm not going to force to become passionate about something. I'm not going to force a purpose that somebody else tried to indoctrinate inside of me. Right? I made money. So like last month I made $100 kind of without doing anything. It is kind of passive income, but at the end of the day, I feel like there's a much more greater vehicle like this that can reach a larger amount of people in a shorter amount of time with a much bigger impact, because you can just come back to this video, come back to this video, come back to this video. So yeah, that's kind of that. I decided to step away, and now I'm pursuing completely music and YouTube, and this is kind of my purpose right now. This is what I'm doing. I decided to take my mindset and potential and apply it to this, because honestly, it was a great stepping stone, but there's more out there. I still struggle with porn addiction to this day. It is what it is. Like, I relapsed 2 weeks ago now. And fitness has fallen off a few times. There's some days where I eat like shit. And there's fucking evidence right there. I'm not gonna pull it up. There's evidence. right here. No one's perfect, G. I'm 18 years old. I'm still a baby. So there's a long way to go. But I still want to document my journey. I still want to document my daily learnings, my daily disciplines. See who I can reach. We have direction and we have purpose now, so we're just gonna fulfill that. I love you, man. Stay on track.